Hello, my amazing artists. We're going to be weaving a rainbow on a half circle loom. Now, you can see that I kind of went in rainbow order. I had different colors. I have some pinks that I had with me, but today we're going to be using rainbow colors. If you do happen to have yarn at home and you want to mix some in, totally can. It's your rainbow and you can do it however you want. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to start with purple. Now when I measure, I normally take a big stretch with the yarn, but I'm going to take like kind of a half stretch with it because I don't need as much purple. And you're going to see that to get this fringe on the sides, we want to end our yarn often so that we can kind of leave it hanging. So I am going to use a hot dog bun. Okay. All right, so I've got a hot dog bun. Now you might have a pink hot dog bun. And the way we do that is we put the yarn in the hot dog bun and slide it through so that we can't see it. And we're going to put that through the needle like this. So that just kind of helps me thread my needle without all of the like kind of fraying ends. And then I'm just going to tie one quick knot around the needle. If you don't know how to tie a knot, you cross your strings and you put the front string back through the hole, back, behind, and through the hole. Okay, now when we weave, I like to start on the right side. It doesn't matter which side you start. Just need to remember you're gonna go over, under, over, under. And you can start over, you can start under, but the next thing you do is the opposite. So I'm gonna start under, then we go over, under, over, under, over, under. And I'm just gonna keep doing that all the way through. If I need to pull through a little bit, I can. So I went under, now I'm gonna go over, under, over, under, over, under. And I'm going to pull my string all the way through, except I'm gonna leave just a little bit of a tail right there. Now, if I wanted a lot of fringe, I could do this every time. I could just cut it off and leave lots of tails. And I could just do lots of separate strings, but I'll want to tie knots at the end if I do that. Or I may keep going until I get to pretty much the end of the string. So this is the key. Since I finished under last, because I can see because my yellow string is on top of my purple, I'm going to start over this time. If I don't start the opposite of what I finished, then it's going to just take out the yarn that I've already done. So I'm going to go over, under, over, under, over, under. And then, I'll probably pull it through about halfway through, but I'm not going to pull it too tight. I don't want to pull these strings in. And then I'm going to go over, under, over, under, over, under, over. And pull it through and pull it down. Okay. Now, like I said, I want to kind of have this fringe. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to do it one more time and I'm going to end over here and I'm going to cut it. But I'm going to leave it on my needle because I can keep weaving with what's left. Okay, so I finished. Did I finish over or under last time? Over. So now I'm going to start under, over, under, over, under, over. And pull it through like that. I can even pat it down a little bit so that I see more purple instead of the yellow. Then I'm gonna go over, because I just went under. I'm gonna go over, under, over, under, over, under. And I'm gonna pull it through. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to snip my strings about the same length. And I'm just gonna leave them like that. They're not gonna come out because it gets pretty packed there. And then I've still got quite a bit of string because I don't use very much with this purple especially. So I'm just gonna start again. I'm gonna go over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over. I could probably make the whole thing. Under, over, and pull it through. But when I pull it through, I'm not gonna pull it all the way out. I'm gonna stop there so that my string is about the same length, and then I'm gonna go back. Okay, so since I finished over, I'm gonna start, that's right, under again, and I'm gonna just go back the other way. Pull it through a little bit, over, under, over, under, over, under, and pull it through. Now, if I don't pull it through every time, then I'm gonna run out of string really fast. And I think I have enough that I can go a couple more times. Now, I could stop here and cut my string, but I think that I'm gonna go just a little bit more. So let's see, I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna do 8. And I think I have enough string for it. Let's see. Pull it through. Oh, I think I'm just gonna have enough string. I'm actually gonna take this off of the needle, or I'll just slide it. I undid my knot and I slid it down a little bit on the needle just so that my needle doesn't get stuck in there, and I can just pull it through. Over, under, over, under, over. Oh, see, it just came off, and that's perfect. So now I'm just gonna pack it down. So I did 8 pass-throughs, and I'm gonna trim my string so it's about even with the other strings. Now you can have longer fringe or shorter fringe, just try to be consistent. Okay, now you can see that my roll still has a lot of yarn on it. You might wanna make another one, another loom, rainbow loom, and you might have plenty of yarn for it. And then now I'm gonna do the next color. So I tape up one color and I'm gonna do the next. Now that purple was like a short stretch, so now I'm gonna do a longer stretch with the blue. And when we get farther along with our colors, we are going, or further along, we're gonna need to probably do a couple strings. So this blue is a bigger stretch, and then maybe green is 2 small stretches, or something like that. So now, again, I'm gonna use my hot dog bun. Here it is. You can't see it very well, so I'm gonna put it over the plate. And really all it is a folded piece of paper. This is a folded Post-it because I didn't have the hot dog bun. I'm gonna stick my yarn in the hot dog bun and put it through the eye of the needle. And remember, I like to just tie one little knot so that it doesn't slip off when I'm pulling it through. Okay, I finished on this side, so I'm gonna go ahead and start back on this side. I can see that I finished over, so now I'm gonna go under and go through. If I can start seeing these warp strings, see how they're like pretty much covered. If I see the warp strings, then I know that I'm not quite doing it right and I got off somewhere. Now, you could go back and undo it, but you know, loom is just so colorful that if you keep weaving and you fix what you're doing so that it looks right, then nobody's gonna know or care because it's all just beautiful colors. Okay, this blue is hard to see because the plate's blue, but I finished under, so now I'm gonna start over and go back the other way. Now the rows are short right now, but as we get farther out on a rainbow, they're gonna get longer and longer. I'm gonna pull it through all the way. Remember, if I don't pull it through, I'm gonna run out of yarn real fast. And I'm not gonna pull it too tight because it's gonna start making my strings like go in like this. So I want to just do it like that. And then I'm gonna go back. We did about 8 rows last time. So this is 2. So I'm gonna try to do maybe 2 more. Pull it through, all the way through. Whoop, my little tail got caught up in there. See how I pulled it too tight? If I pull it too tight, that's okay. I can just kind of tug at it and loosen it up and then pack it down. Okay, and then back over. And pull it through. Like that. Okay, now, so I did 4 lines and I'm going to trim it about even, trim that off a little bit. Now, I don't always have to start on this side or the side I ended on. I could start back over here. And I think I'm going to do that and see if I can get 4 more lines with this string. If not, then I'll stop it and start again. But I can tell that I started over last time, so now I have to start under. That way I can leave a tail, 2 tails on this side because it's even. I'm ending up with 2 and 2. Okay, I'm gonna pull it through. So it's not really an exact science because everybody kind of weaves like different weight, you know, tightness. So your yarn length might be different than my yarn length that I need. Then I finished under, so now I'm gonna go over. Pull it through. I'm gonna try to do a couple more. So I finished over, I'm gonna go under. All right, and that, look, I finished just in the nick of time. So that is my blue. Now, if I'm gonna stay in rainbow order, I go on to green. I'm gonna take the rest of this blue off, just put it to the side. I'll throw it all away soon or recycle it. Take the green off. Now I'm gonna take I'm gonna probably take 2 short, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take 2 shortish stretches with my green and cut it off. Because you know what, there's nothing worse than having like too long of a string to weave because it takes forever to pull it through and you're just like, oh, I don't like this. So it's much better to take 2 manageable pieces than 1 super duper long one because you're gonna just be pulling it through so much and you're not gonna enjoy it. Okay, I finished over on this side, so I'm gonna go back this way. So I'm done weaving my rainbow. I have a couple options. I can either leave it on the paper plate, that's why it's blue, and this becomes the background for my weaving. I could even add some cotton balls for some clouds, even at the bottom. Or I can take it off of the loom, which I'm going to show you guys just so you have an option. First thing though, if I'm going to take it off the loom, I need to tie these in knots. So every 2 strings, I'm going to tie in knots. That's kind of why I try to have 2 of each color. This just kind of helps keep your weaving together. Okay, so I've tied my knots. Some aren't hanging down very well. I'll just kind of tug them so that they can hang the way I want them to. Then I'm going to turn my loom over, and this is going to seem scary, but it's not. I'm going to cut my loom strings. Okay. Very carefully pull it off the paper plate. Okay, now this is going to be the back of my weaving. Okay, this knot, all of these right here are, I need to tie them. So I'm going to take 2 strings and knot, double knot. 1, 2, and I'm going to trim. Then I'm going to take 2 more strings and I'm going to double knot like this and trim. And I'm just going to keep on doing this. If I can get the strings next to each other, that really helps. So I'm gonna go do that. Lots of knot tying. So if you don't like to tie knots, then you might just want to leave it on your loom, on your blue loom. with this circle knot, I'm just going to treat it like a regular end and tie it like that. Tie it like that. Okay. Then I'm not done yet, but I just have to kind of tuck in these strings that I don't like the look of. So kind of like that. Okay, I'm gonna turn it back over, or don't have to turn it over necessarily. Then I'm gonna tie these two knots together like this. So every two strings, I'm gonna loosely tie them together. I don't wanna pull all of my strings in, but I just want to make sure that it's not going to slide off of my weaving. Okay, I'm going to have one odd man out, so I'm going to have one string left. I tie this in a double knot, and then I'm going to take the end that's closest to the one on the end, and I'm going to tie that one also. Okay, now I'll go back and I'm going to trim all of these yellow strings, and they're just kind of the sun rays. I'll trim them close to the knot, but not completely at the knot. I could accidentally hit the knot. That one's not very tight, so I can still have enough to pull that. And like that. Okay, I'm almost done. After all that knot tying, all that fringe, oh, look how cute that is. Okay. Then what I'm going to do, so I'm going to take, I had a couple of strings that, they were too short, but I was done weaving and I cut them off. I could braid a bunch of them, and this is going to be my hanger. What I'm going to do is I'm going to thread my needle. There's my hot dog bun. You might have seen that sometimes I cheat and I just fold it over and stick it through the eye of the needle. But there's my hot dog bun, thread it. And then I'm going to stick my string just kind of in a couple below the last two rows and slide. I didn't even tie a knot off of this needle because now I'm going to make it even, maybe wrap the double ends around my finger. I like that knot a lot because it's just quick and easy and tight. And might trim off these ends. You can get creative with how you want to hang it. But then I've got my rainbow hanger. And it's all done. So like I said, you can leave it on the loom or you can take it off the loom. It's just really up to you how you want to do it. So thanks for joining me, and I look forward to seeing your readings.